Good evening, Nick. This area of South Main Street is still closed, and it's been this way for about 32 hours at this point, though police presence inside the scene seems to have died down since this morning. Earlier today, federal agents and the bomb disposal unit could be seen taking hazardous materials out of the suspected bomb maker's residence. Good evening, Renata. It's a little chilly here in Wisner Park, but that doesn't seem like it's putting a damper on the holiday spirit at all. The events are kicking off at 5:30 here for the tree lighting ceremony, and it's getting more crowded every minute. Nick, so far 5 legislators in our area have called for the state legislature to conduct an independent investigation into the issues customers have been having with the utility company. One of those leaders says he's asking for more transparency. Nick, right behind me is the newly renamed LECOM Events Center. In a press conference earlier today, officials from the Chemung County IDA and LECOM College unveiled this new 5-year partnership. Hi, Renata. Here in Hornell, it is getting darker by the minute, and let me tell you, it is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And everyone here, well, they're looking up. Nick, after almost 3 hours of a city council meeting, this ordinance was passed in a 5-2 vote. This was not the first time the ordinance to ban camping within city limits was put up on the table, and it still brought up a lot of differing opinions. Nick, about 2 months ago, that fire destroyed almost a whole block, including the local grocery store and laundromat. More than 57 departments from around New York State responded to battle that blaze, and the Ovid fire chief said the rebuilding process could start as early as this month. We're here tonight at this watch party, and I'm wondering, what's it like? We've had a rather tumultuous election season with Joe Biden stepping down, Kamala Harris stepping up to the plate. What's it like now that election night is finally here? I went door to door with FEMA as they're on the ground, trying to tell neighbors about the assistance that's available to them in the wake of the flooding left behind by Debbie. I spoke with neighbors as they're trying to pick up the pieces and rebuild their lives, hopefully with some federal assistance. The goal is to meet survivors where they are. Going door to door, up and down streets in several communities, crews can register people to apply for federal assistance with a quick use of an app.
You know, we really just try to stay focused on getting them assistance, really focused on what we know and getting the people the help that they need, giving them the resources they need. They may not need FEMA help, they may just need other agencies that are providing assistance. So as I go through the communities, I'm thinking about what type of help this community needs more so than the other, you know.
FEMA crews knocked on doors all afternoon, talking to people like Lucia Ryman. Ryman says her shed and cars were damaged from the flooding. This was the second time in the past few weeks that FEMA had knocked on Ryman's door.
I applied online for FEMA as soon as I knew that it was available. I said, anytime that you're available, I'm here. She came and surveyed all the damage to the outside of our house and said that she'd submit all the information to FEMA.
After FEMA crews knock on a door, the representative fills out a survey. It helps pinpoint a location, keep track of who is already registered for assistance, and make note if FEMA was able to make contact with a homeowner. The people who make up FEMA crews are from all over the country and travel to help out where disaster strikes.
We're here as long as the community needs us, you know, however long that, if it's weeks, if it's months, even sometimes years, depending on the severity of the disaster. So we're just here to help, you know, want to know what's going on, and that's what we do.
There are flood disaster relief centers set up in Knoxville and Westfield for those who want to go for in-person assistance. The deadline to apply for that assistance is November 12th. In Tioga County, Pennsylvania, I'm Morrissey Walsh, WENY News.
Everybody, it's the greatest job I never wanted because how it happened, but it meant so much to me to continue on.
Arthur Sullivan has been volunteering with the Horseheads Fire Department since 1976. You could say firefighting is in the Sullivan family's bones. Before Arthur became chief, it was his brother Dick, and before them, their Uncle George.
I want to help people regardless what the scene is. That's how I was brought up. That's what I was shown, and I continued on. And I was very fortunate to make all these calls, a lot of it because we were self-employed, so I was able to leave our business. And my family being very understanding, I would leave them to go help people. But like a day like today, when somebody comes back and doing CPR on them, that's what it's all about.
Arthur took over as chief in 2006, after his brother died in the line of duty. The Sullivans have been a leading presence with the department since 1953. 71 years of service.
To know my grandfather helped start this, my great uncle, my dad, my cousins being involved in it. Like, it's just, you're right. I mean, Sullivan has always been a part of the Horseheads legacy of the fire department. And, it's really hard to put into words like what it means, because it's really just who our family is. It's what we do.
Across a 71-year legacy, the Sullivans have impacted thousands of lives, leaving an indelible mark on the Horseheads community.
Artie's had a great impact, just like his brother. I mean, he's, it's just, he's got his fingers in everything, and he's a behind the scenes type of guy like his brother too. So, but he's the type of person that he's behind the scenes, and that always makes everybody feel a little bit better.
According to department records, Arthur has responded to more than 7,000 calls since 2001. While he's stepping down as chief, he'll still be answering the call as a member of the department.
I'm very proud of what I've done throughout the years, and I want to continue on. So it's a very important family tradition for me, and I want to continue on, and I'm very proud of my firefighters.
The antique truck at the fire department proudly displays the generations of Sullivan family helmets, a visible symbol of their service.
Horseheads without a Sullivan is just, well, we're going to find out soon what it's going to be like, but I'm sure everything's going to be great, but it's just going to be different.
Reporting from Horseheads, Morrissey Walsh, WENY News.